Of it is we get to interact with different data from different places. Yeah, so you have data maybe from Nairobi, you have data from, let's say, Mombasa, and you get to compare your data with what is happening maybe in the US, what is happening somewhere maybe in Europe. That's the fun bit of it, and yeah, it enhances your skills also as a student when it comes to data analysis. Welcome. I can see his name is his or her, Federico. Yeah, karibu sana. Good to see you. The other program that we run is we also run outreach. Basically, we come to your school and take you through the 4 thematic areas. Yeah, this is now a one-on-one interaction. You get to see us on the ground. Yeah, we get to answer your question one-on-one, not over the webinar. And it's a fun session. The other thing we do is we do write books. We do write books, just putting together literacy materials. Karibu sana Amani. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. So we do literacy materials. Focus still on the 4 thematic areas. We have Earth observation, we have space science and astronomy, space systems engineering, IT and robotics. Yeah, we currently have module 1 ready. We are working on our module 2, and we also do comic. So if you're interested in comic, we have a comic called Safari to Jupiter. That is series 1. Yeah, in a nutshell, that is what we do to create national space capability in space technology application and all that. Yeah, so today we are going to look at IT and robotics. I hope you're looking forward to learning what robotics are. And our able presenter is going to be beautiful lady called Amina Noor, who is going to do very interesting presentation on robotics, parts of a robot. Yeah, how do robots relate to space? So yeah, we endeavor to make this session very interactive. So in any situation or in any time you feel like she needs to repeat what she just presented, please interject, raise your hand, or you can drop your question in the chat where we can see it and maybe give you a reply. Sawa sawa. have a nice and interesting session. Over to Amina.
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amina Noor. I'm an IT personnel at the Kenya Space Agency. So for today's webinar, I'll be taking you to introduction to robotics. We'll just take you about the what is robotics, what are robots, parts of a robots, how do they operate, and then application of robots in space and careers in robotics. So let me start with my presentation. Okay. So for today's webinar series, I'll talk about the robotics. First and foremost, this is the overview of the webinar. So here it comprises of an introduction, and then the components of a robot or types of a robot, operations of a robot, how do they operate? And then we have types of robots. And then we have application of robots in space and careers in robotics. So first and foremost, what do you know about robotics? What are robotics? I will prefer to have some answers in the chats. So robotics is a field of computer science that deals with the design and constructions of robots. So that's what robotics are. And then that's robotics. And then what is a robot? A robot is a machine capable of moving independently, either walking or rolling on wheels and performing actions that allow them to interact with physical objects. That's what a robot is. And then we have the components of a robot. What does a robot consist of? So the robots have these components. They have power supply. The power supply, this part provides power to the robot, enabling it to move and receive inputs. And then we have the body. Just like human beings have body or the skeletons for the robot, they have the chassis. The chassis is the main structure of a robot that holds all the other parts together. The chassis, they can be described as the skeleton of a robot. And then we have the wheels. Just like human beings use the legs to move, the robots have wheels. This part is used for movement. And then we have the controller or the computer. So for us, just like human beings have the brain to think and make decision, the robots have the computer. This is the central thing unit that coordinates all the other components to work together. And then we have the sensors. So for human beings, we have the five senses. We have the sense of touch, the sense of sight, which is the eyes. We have the nose, which is used for smell. We have the tongue, which is used for testing. So for a robot, they have different sensors. They have the camera, with the camera sensors, which is used for vision. They have the light sensors. We have the distance sensors, which can be used to detect obstacles and enable them to make decisions. And then we have the actuators or the motors. This component converts electricity to movement, enabling the robot to move. Then, how does a robot operate? So, a robot operates in a manner using the sense, think, and act, just like human beings. They sense, and then they think, they make decision, and then the last is the action. So for these operations are accomplished using one or more computers. So the robot's mind is to receive information. The robot's mind, which is the computer, they receive information through the sensors. And then they do some processing. The some processing is done through the brain, which is the computer. And the output commands, which are done to the body's actuators. The, actu the actuators which enable them to move or act accordingly. So how are instructions processed by a robot? How do robots process instructions? So first and foremost, the robot's brain, that is the computer, they receive information from the sensors. They receive information from the sensors such as the camera, or yeah, the camera which they use to detect objects, or they have the light sensors. Then after that, the computer then uses a set of instructions called a computer program stored in it to process the information. So uh, our computer have programs, and then the program is a set of instructions that tells the computer what to do. And a computer program is we use a programming language to write those computer programs. One of the programming language is the Scratch programming. So the results of the processing, the result of the processing enables the robot to make decisions. Decisions such as detecting an object and deciding to stop or change direction, or receiving a command to pick an object and it calculates the necessary movement. Finally, the robot's actuators they perform the physical actions such as the wheels for movement. Now we are going to study about the types of a robot. So we have different types of a robot, but you are here, we just discussed the four of them. We have pre-programmed robots. These are robots that operate in a simple, controlled environment such that they do not require human involvement to operate successfully. So these robots have instructions installed on them. So they perform these operations according to the program that has been installed on them. And then we have autonomous robots. These are robots that can perform tasks and operate in an environment independently, such as self-driving cars. And then we have augmenting robots. So these are robots that are connected to the human body. The movement of the body, sometimes it's only the mental activity of the human's brain control a robotic effector. So these are attached to the human's body, and it uses the human's brain to control the activity of it. And then we have remotely operated robots. So such like these are robots that are operated by a remote, like the TV. That we use a remote TV to control the channels. Just that is the same as the remotely operated robots. They are controlled remotely by a human being. Robotic assisted surgery is one of the examples of the remotely operated robots. Also, we have the space shuttle, which is another example. So after all this, now how are robots used in space? So in space, we have the robots, we have a vehicle known as rovers. The rovers, they're just like how we studied about the parts of a robot. They have onboard computers to guide their movement and operations. And then the computers, they contain programs in them to help the rover perform its function. And then we have the sensors and the cameras. These are the input devices which are used to sense the physical environment. And then we have the motors and the wheels, which they act according to according to what the sensors have sensed from the environment. So for in space, human beings can't go to space because of the high temperatures. There is no lights. That's why we use the robots to assist us to collect data in space, and such that and one of them is the rovers. So we have different rovers that have been launched in space. So we have these three of them. We have the Opportunity rover, which was active on Mars from 2004 to 2018. Why was this rover's launch in space? Is to find meteorites such as heat-filled rocks. And then we have the Curiosity rover, which landed in Mars in 2012. The purpose of it is to study the Mars geology, the climate and habitability, the life in Mars. And then we have in the Perseverance rover. which arrived in mass in 2021. And then, last but not least, what careers can one venture in robotics? You can be a computer programmer. We say that robots use the program installed in them to perform an instruction. So you can be a computer programmer. You write programs and software for the robots. You have software developer. You create softwares. And then we have telecommunications engineer. And then we have robotics engineer. Robotics engineer is the person who assembles the robot. And then we have a computer scientist. So this brings me an end to the webinar. So last but not least, you are going to the activity. So for the activity, I'll take you to programs of Scratch programming on the web. These programs are already written on the web about robots. We have different of them, such as robot editor, robot creator. So for example, we'll go to a robot creator. So this program is already available on the web. It's for you guys to check on them and play with the design of a robot. So here the instruction says click the green flag and click the arrow keys to change how the robot looks. So we have, this is a robot program which is already written in one of the programming language, which is Scratch programming language. So for here, you can change the design of a robot, the body. If you want to change the arm, you can change the arm. The legs, you can change the legs, and the eyes, you change the eyes. So here you can see inside, you can see how the program was written in Scratch programming. Another program, we have the robot editor. Sorry. Let me share. So, I mean, this is the program. So, I've just been informed that you cannot see. So here, the activity, we have this, I mean, we have Scratch programs. Scratch is one of the programming language which is found on the web. You will just need a laptop and an internet to access on it. So these are just some of the robotics programs found in Scratch programming. So these are some of the popular robots programs found in programming. So here we have the you create your own robot. So this is one of the robot program found online. Here you just change the design of the robot. So here you change the different parts of a robot, the eyes, the body. So for the activity, we have different robots programmed which are found in Scratch programming. So the Scratch program is found on the internet. So I've been informed that the link has been shared on the chat. You can access the link. So you just click on the link and it takes you to the website directly. So from the website, we have different robot programs that have been written, that have been uploaded here. We have the one for robot tag multiplayer. We have the robot editor. We have the robot creator. So for the robot creator, you change the design of the robot. It's the same here. So I'll just play an example here, like here, create your own robot. I hope you can access you've accessed the link and clicked on the program. So this is one of the example of a robot program that has been written on Scratch. So for this program, you change the design of the robot. So you click either you change the body, or you change the hands, or you change the legs, or you change the face, like some one of these other programs you have. It's this one here, where you. So this is one other program that is found in Scratch, where you can play with the robot. So the instruction basically is to use the arrow keys and the mouse to play with the robot. So here I'm using the arrow keys or the mouse to change the target, and then you click to shoot or something like that. So that's it about the introductions to robot. And if you want to know how the program was created, for example, so here you can see inside and see how the code was created. So the link is free. You just go to your web browser and click on and type on Scratch. This one, scratch.mit.edu, and you can find more programs in there, and you can write your own codes and upload it there. So for that brings me to the end of my presentation. So now I invite you guys for questions and answer. So for questions and answer, if you have any questions and answer, please type them down in the chats, or you can unmute and ask. So any questions? Any questions?
Hello,
Yes.
good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Derek. Hello, my name is
Yes.
Derek.
Yes. Very
Is there by any chance, do you have live demonstrations on the robots?
Yeah, right now we have the Lego one. I mean, you assemble the Lego, and then which is we have the Scratch program inbuilt on them. But this one, this live demonstration, we do them in outreach, whether in schools.
Oh, okay, you do the live demonstrations in schools.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can't we have a demonstration as a club whereby we set aside a specific day whereby we can interact with the robots?
As in,
We as the Space Club.
okay.
To answer your question, that is possible, Yeah. Now that KSA has got the materials needed, we can do that. The worry is, yes, we do have, but you're not sure if everyone has that material at home. That's why we decided to do something that everyone can do, whatever they are. But that can be arranged, Derek. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, because I do have a strong interest in robotics. I have a background in space technology and geospatial engineering, and I have a very strong interest in robotics.
Thank you. Good to know about that. Yeah, maybe your ideas can also help in improving the club. Thank you.
I can see Amani has raised her hand. Please, Amani, you can ask your question. Mudoni Bwiria, I see you've raised your hand. Please ask your question.
Do you, by any chance, make robots at the Kenya Space Agency?
No, yeah, we do not make robots. For the time being, we just use the one we have so far. It's the Lego one, which we assemble, and that's the one that is used in school for demonstrations.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Amani, please unmute and ask your question. Okay, as we wait for Amani to ask a question, anyone else? Benedict, what's your take home from the session, maybe? Yeah, we would love to hear from you. Yeah, Mudhoni, Kasi Princess, Justin, Shark Boy. Would love to hear from you also. You've heard from us. We want to hear from you. Jasmine has a question. Does KSA have any tutorials on Scratch programming? We would let Amina answer that. Amina, Joshua, James, anyone?
So we have one of the module of the space class book. So for the IT and robotics, the book is the Introduction to Scratch Programming, where it explains Scratch in detail, and we have some of the activities that are inside the book. The books are found at the agency. And then we did one of the lectures of Scratch programming last year, December, where one of our colleagues took, explained the introduction to Scratch and even did a tutorial on how to solve problems in Scratch. So for the time, but the Scratch programming is found in the web. So I see one of my colleagues that shared the link on the next. So for the, when you click on it and click on projects, you find different projects there, and most of the tutorials are found in YouTube. I hope I've answered
Maybe if I can see a man has a hand raised, maybe you can give a chance to ask a question. And also we can be reviewing our chats. There are some answers that have been provided from the questions that we've received.
Gabriela is asking if you can explain. Gabriela, could you rephrase your question, Gabriela? You're also allowed to unmute and ask your question. Yes, Muthoni.
I was wondering, like, are you planning to make any robots in the future, or just for demonstration, or like to show around schools?
Maybe to answer Mthoni's question, yes, indeed, through these trainings, the purpose is to create awareness first, and then through this awareness, we intend to have a team in the future that can be able to develop and create robots in Kenya. And most probably as an agency, currently we are doing research and design concepts. If you have a chance maybe to attend one of our space club activities in schools, or be able to manage to visit our offices, we do have demonstration sessions in which we can be able to take you through the processes that have been outlined by my colleague Amin Anur. Thank you. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, it does answer my question. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, yes, Princess.
I also wanted to ask that since I'm not within the country, is there any other way I can take part with the demonstrations and other Space Club activities?
Oh, yes, indeed. This is one of the avenues that you could be taking part of the Space Club activities. We do have our webinars at the end of every month. So depending on the communications that will be made through the Department of Outreach and Awareness, we can always be able to let you know when we do have these kind of webinars, and also any other interactions that you may want to have with the Space Club in the future. Kindly do reach out to us through the Space Club email indicated on our poster, and we shall be able to get back to you on further details on our Space Club activities.
Thank you very much.
Any other question?
I have a take home.
Yes, Princess.
From what I've learned in the robotics, it taught me of the three types of robots found in space and what they do, and the four types plus the four types of robots found in on land with and the things and the jobs they do. And the last thing is their senses and what they do.
Wow. Thank you, Princess. You're really listening keenly. Yeah, good to know that you've captured something in the webinar. Yeah, looking forward to see you in our next webinar. Yeah, as we wrap up, if there's no any other question, yeah, I hope I'm not losing out on someone. Anyone? Okay, okay. So thank you once again for making time to participate and to learn something on IT and robotics. Yeah, as Princess has given a highlight on what she has learned in IT and robotics. I hope each and every one of you has gotten something. Yeah, Moduni, Benedict, Derek, yeah, Shark Boy. I hope you've captured it. And next month, we're going to have our next webinar on the 29th of June. Let me confirm. Yes, 29th of June. And we will be taking you through space systems engineering, the area in space systems engineering, specifically parts of a rocket. Sorry, we're going to look at that huge rocket, which is what makes up the rocket. So we look forward to seeing you to learn different parts of a rocket from. You've heard of payload, you've heard of those are some parts of a rocket. Looking forward to seeing you. Raphael, you have a question?
Oh yeah, not really a question, but since the meeting was recorded, are we going to get the recordings in our emails so that we may maybe listen to it during our free time and look at the things that might be of importance?
Uh, okay. Of course, yes, and I did live in YouTube. So if you check us out in KSA, Kenya Space Agency Club, you will get the whole session on YouTube. But also, we can work on sending a recording to you. Yeah, for your future reference. Thank you, Raphael. Yeah, so if you need the recording before we send it to you, you can check out in YouTube. KSA Space Club. You get the recording. There's a link in our chat where you can access the session for today and other sessions that have happened before. Okay, if there is no any other question, see you in June 29th on space systems engineering, specifically on parts of a rocket. Yeah, if you have any comments, anything you want us to know, please write to us through spaceclub@ksa.go.ke. I've pasted the email in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Any feedback, we would love to hear from you. Until next time, see you.